That's my party. It's called the Communist Party of Great Britain.
Our first enemy is whoever is in government right now. It is Labour.
The trade unions are part of the Labour movement, and the Labour Party for many years has been wedded to this neoliberal agenda. Like a tree pulling up its roots, it's destroyed working class communities.
So people are hopeful that reform will do something different. And they're playing the anti-immigrant card is everyone's card. But it's not black workers or brown workers, it's the rich who have made us poor.
Why is it important to be here for International Workers' Day in 2025?
Well, it's always important. I'm part of a movement that's been around for a very long time. We've never been more needed now. What we've got is a situation where people's living standards have fallen to the point that inequality in Britain is at the same level it was when Marie Antoinette was knocking about in France. And we've had 40 years of neoliberalism. That's left us with all of our national assets sold off, all of our industry offshored, and what we've got left has been outsourced. And so in working class communities across Britain, people haven't just lost their jobs, but they've lost their trade union and labour movement. And the reason that's important is because we were the people that built community. We had not just defence of workers in the job, but all of the athletic groups, the social clubs, the charitable stuff that went with it. We brought people together, and what we see now is people in those areas being persuaded to a different type of politics. So if we want to address division in society and we want to have a more equal society, we've got to have this government bring back sectoral collective bargaining and put the trade unions back where they belong. And we've got to have a strategic role for the state to invest in infrastructure, manufacturing and public services to give people the quality lives and quality jobs that they need.
Can you tell us about your shirt?
Yes, I think today is May Day, Workers' Day. The biggest unity of the people, working people, which is, I think, the most of the people. Yeah. Against capitalism. Why? Because the majority of the people, they should work hard, and all themselves, they build a house, they build a school, the road, everything and things. But all the profit goes to the few people. It is biggest contradiction. Doesn't work.
I'm with a party. That's my party. It's called the Communist Party of Great Britain, Marxist-Leninist. It's important for us because today is International Workers' Day. That in the beginning was a day in which we set out to win for workers the 8-hour day. So that the idea is workers work for 8 hours, have recreation for 8 hours, and sleep for 8 hours. It's not an unreasonable demand, and it kind of fits with everyone's life expectations. But if you look at today, we've got 20% of the population in Britain who are economically inactive, maybe a quarter. So they're basically unemployed. Then people who are working, millions of people are on 0-hour contracts, so they have to be available long hours to get few hours of work and live in poverty. We've got large numbers of people who work 2 jobs, or are in poverty despite working, or many members of their family work and still the family don't live. So the reality is the conditions of the working people is being pushed down. We're seeing that with inflation. So I won't go into the causes, but clearly our wages have decreased in value. Even if you're getting more in terms of monetary value, a bottle of olive oil costs 12, 13, 14, 15 pounds. You can't live. So workers have to re-engage in the struggle and say, I can't survive on minimum wage. Even under capitalism, which is the system of our wage slavery, we think, we have to have enough to live, eat, reproduce, have decent lives. And that's the struggle we're talking about.
Can you tell us about the connection between the Palestinian cause and International Workers' Day?
It's the people, including the labor movement, the workers' movement. And I came here to say thank you for the largest and the longest solidarity movement in the history of the UK for Palestine. So as a Palestinian ambassador, I know all these people have taken part over a long period in voicing their voices and saying here we are, in demanding ceasefire and wanting these atrocities to stop, in demanding the application of international law, in showing their humanity. And yes, indeed, I want to be here and I want to say thank you. The British people have shown to the world that they care about international issues, they care about our universal values, and London has become the epicenter of global solidarity with Palestine. So I could not be more proud and more touched and more grateful than today.
this Labour government is bringing in the Employment Rights Bill. Does that go far enough, and do they represent workers?
The Employment Rights Bill is an important step forward, but it doesn't go far enough. We could have another P&O next week under the Employment Rights Bill. And as I've said, they were elected on the basis of bringing back sectoral collective bargaining. That's badly needed. Look, the trade unions are part of the Labour movement, and the Labour Party for many years has been wedded to this neoliberal agenda. And like a tree pulling up its roots, it's destroyed working class communities and destroyed the trade union movement. We've got to bring that back if we're going to rebalance power in a society, and we're going to have more unity, because right now the country feels extremely divided. And how do you bring it back? You bring us back. Put us back where we belong and we'll sort it out.
Do you think that the current Labour government supports working people?
I don't think so. In some cases, little, very tiny, maybe better than conservative. But I think at the end, they supporting the whole system of, I explained, the capitalist system. They don't have the courage to go and say, okay, we should publicize. I mean, come on, make all the people who build and make something that should belong to everybody.
Do you think that the Labour government represents working people?
Absolutely not. The Labour Party has the same interests as the Tories, right? It's the British ruling class's interests. They're here to protect profits, not protect people. I mean, a great example is, how do they fund a bigger defense budget? It's by cutting welfare, right? How is this in the interests of people? Was there a democratic, decision-making process for this? I don't think so. And you see, actually, the biggest takeaway we could have from the general election is that people didn't vote for Labour. People didn't vote at all, actually. So, we've got to organize something beyond Labour. They've always shown their true colors. We can't pretend like there's still some hope for them. We know that the only people who are going to make a change in this country is workers.
Starmer offers us poverty at home, taking away pensioners' rights, crushing benefits, and at the same time raising money to bid for militarism and driving towards war with Russia. So to us, they're the same as the Tories. So for that reason, we say Labour doesn't represent working people.
Do you think that working people are turning towards reform?
No, I don't think so. I think that, obviously the far right is a big issue in a lot of countries, but in this country what we're seeing is our first enemy is whoever is in government right now, and it is Labour. Like, we have to be clear, when we're focusing on the far right, that means we're not calling out those who right now have the option to end British support for Zionism, who right now have the option to give everyone available and affordable healthcare, to put actual means, right, in our public services. They could do that right now if they wanted to, and they're not doing it. So the focus on the far right for me is a distraction on who is actually in power right now, who's in control of the police, of the courts, of the justice system, the immigration system, right? Who's deporting people? It's not reform, it's actually Labour.
So people are hopeful that reform will do something different. And they're playing the anti-immigrant card is everyone's card. But it's not black workers or brown workers or red workers or yellow workers or green workers or pink workers. It's a system. It's the rich who have made us poor. And while they stay very rich and they don't pledge to take the wealth from the rich, we're going to remain very poor. So it's going to be a hard lesson. I think, they'll have a part to play in British politics. They're allowed in because they don't threaten the wealthy. So the wealthy will keep their wealth, we'll keep getting poorer. And until people realize we've got to do something about that, I'm afraid not much is going to change.